forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, good evening to you. Have you been outside tonight? Boy, it is very cool out there, crisp and cool. Just wait until tomorrow morning. Look at these clear skies all across Illinois and Indiana, and our temperatures now down to 58 in Champaign, 59 in Springfield and in Effingham. And as you're getting up in the morning and you're pouring that bowl of, well, I know, your frosted weather wheats, of course, with marshmallows, and you got the forecast inside, and there's the forecast as you pour it out. 50 in the morning. Wow. Chilly start to the day. How long is this cool weather going to stick around? We'll answer that for you when we come back. WCIA3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA3 News.
We thought that it was appropriate for the moment to roll out a more ambitious set of recommendations.
The future of Champaign's police department could look different. The changes one group could suggest for officers. We found out if lawmakers are getting a pay raise during the pandemic. And food trucks could soon have to play by a different set of rules in one community. What was decided tonight.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA3 News at 10.
So I think that we have a wealth of people that are ready to work and to collaborate.
Leaders are hoping to build on that moment to strengthen community-police relations. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. Champaign Citizens Review Board is one step closer to rolling out a list of recommendations for the police department. WCIA3's Jen Lask shares what they're asking for.
We thought that it was appropriate for the moment to roll out a more ambitious set of recommendations.
Emily Rodriguez says those recommendations range from creating a study on the impact of school resource officers to diverting 10% of the police department's funding.
We would hire more social workers, and we could start that out as a pilot program and see if it works.
I think that we were pretty much all in agreement with the recommendations that the Citizens Review Board brought forth.
Human Rights Commission Chair Alicia Young is a licensed social worker herself. She'd like to see more mental health professionals working with police.
Police officers, they have their training in their line of work, and we as healthcare professionals or social workers or counselors, we have our training in our line of work.
Rodriguez and Young also want to work on getting the word out about citizen complaints.
One of my concerns as the chair is that there aren't enough people, enough citizens in the city of Champaign who are even aware that they can make a complaint. And so that's a concern.
Young says while the forms are available online, not everyone has access to the internet. That's why groups are hoping to partner with churches and the public health district to make it easier to file a complaint. Rodriguez hopes to present a final draft of recommendations by next month.
Really, in my opinion, this is the best part. So this is a first draft. And so what that means is that we kind of have a focal point where we can have conversation over these recommendations.
In Champaign, Jen Lask, WCIA3, your local news leader.
A final recommendation would ultimately be submitted to City Council and Chief Cobb. Since this is just a draft, the police department doesn't want to comment yet on specific recommendations from last night's presentation. But a spokesperson says, quote, "We are committed as a police department to working alongside the community to seek their input and to identify areas for potential improvement." Police have made an arrest in the death of a man in Springfield. Alan Frere is charged with first-degree murder in the killing of 36-year-old Jason Newell. Newell was shot several times and stabbed in Montgomery County. Frere is being held on a $1.5 million bond. New details about a shooting in Champaign from last night. Authorities say an 18-year-old was shot in the foot while riding his bike. Happened near the intersection of Devonshire Drive and Sandpiper Lane. Police say someone in a dark-colored car drove by the victim and started shooting. No arrests have been made. If you know anything about what happened, you are asked to call police. In Decatur, police say a teenager was shot in the leg last night. Officers were called to the area of South Jasper and East Cantrell Streets. They were responding to a call for gunfire when they learned a shooting victim was dropped off at the hospital. Police say the 17-year-old was shot in his thigh. They are still investigating. A woman in Danville is behind bars after a shooting at a park. Investigators say Janaea Edmonds got into a fight with her child's father. She eventually started shooting at him. Happened at Winter Park on Saturday. Family says they were at the park playing kickball at the time.
Everybody was fearful for their lives because she was running everywhere with that gun. We didn't know what to expect, and I thank God that the gun jammed.
Edmonds has been charged for firing a gun, but the family of the man she's charged with shooting at say she should also be charged with child endangerment since kids were at the park. The new COVID-19 testing guidelines for the University of Illinois could create a hurdle for its uni-high families. On-campus testing will be required for all faculty, staff, students who need to be on campus, quote, for any reason, for any length of time. Uni-High's Health and Safety Task Force says that includes the high school. Now, they need to figure out what parents will need to do in order to pick up remote learning supplies before the beginning of the school year.
How do we manage the logistical difficulties of saying, okay, everybody come pick up your computers, come pick up your supplies, but you need to go get tested 4 days, a maximum of 4 days before you do that, and then share your results with us. Because, you know, like, who's doing that? Which family member is going to be doing that? How are they going to be sharing those results with us?
The university says technically the requirements for the start of the semester, but it's strongly urging people to start getting tested now. The positivity rate is going in different directions for parts of central Illinois. Region 3 is up over a point to 5.2% from the last week. That's west of Macon County. Region 6, which is that county and east, is down 0.1% to 3.1%. There are over 1,400 new cases in Illinois, which brings the total to more than 184,000. 19 more people have died. There are now more than 7,500 coronavirus-related deaths in the state. We have an update to a story from last month. More tenants of Lake Forest Apartments in Danville are coming forward with complaints about the prolonged bed bug problem. We first told you about the bed bug issue in early July when people complained management didn't tell them about it. A woman contacted us saying she found a bed bug in her apartment and later learned an adjacent apartment had a severe bed bug infestation. But she was not told about this by management and said the property manager would not respond to her questions about what was being done to stop it from getting worse. Now, a month later, another tenant said the bed bug infestation has spread to other buildings, including an apartment near hers. She's frustrated with the same lack of thorough communication from management and prevention efforts.
My concern there is why don't they already have a monthly, spray in place? Why do I have to beg for information, and had I not heard this from someone else, I wouldn't have ever known and to know to advocate for myself and other people within the building.
This tenant said there's a new property manager, but there's still a lack of communication about the problem, leaving tenants wondering why it hasn't been fixed. WCIA has made multiple attempts to contact property management, but none of the calls has been returned. New rules for food trucks in one city. What big change is coming their way? Plus, pay raises during a pandemic. What paychecks for lawmakers look like after the budget passed. And the NCAA is expected to announce plans for fall sports tomorrow. Why that won't matter for one Illini athlete.